Well, there have been hundreds of songs over the years, haven't they, about events and people in history. uh, Apartheid in South Africa, World War II, the IRA uprising in Belfast, Northern Ireland, Racism in America, The Poison Fruit by Nina Simone, a haunting song. You've got the Zombies, or Zombies by the Cranberries about Ireland. You've got the Berlin Wall. You've got so much more. But what makes any of these songs great is the poetry. And this song right here about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald in 1975 by Gordon Lightfoot is perhaps the most poetic. It's definitely up there. The writing on it is extraordinary. The wreck, of course, happened on Lake Superior in 1975. And Gordon saw a Newsweek article on it. I think it was the following month. It happened in November of 75. And as you could probably tell from the lyrics on the song, when the skies of November turn gloomy. So he saw that. He wrote it, I think, right then or about a week later, and performed it or got it all together. And then it was released in August of 76, less than a year after the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And it's one of those times where something in history has happened and you don't even know about it until you've heard the song. And then the song gives you extraordinary curiosity. And it's not just the poetry on this. I was going to go through line by line the poetry, but there's just so much. The visuals on it, the cadence also in Gordon's voice, like he's talking, almost like the waves of Lake Superior coming in regularly. Superior is the lake that the Edmund Fitzgerald, went under on, taking 29 lives tragically. And but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go through all the words on it. I'm just going to let Gordon tell the story in his inimitable way. And we're just going to enjoy this masterpiece of writing and music. So here we go with Gordon Lightfoot. I think this performance was in the late 70s for sure. It may have been 76 or 77. So here we go. By the way, that haunting guitar was actually created by another gentleman. I'm sorry I don't know his name. I think it was Peter somebody, but he came up with the riff, which is really perfect, isn't it? Has a country feel to it.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa town of the big lake they call Gitchagumi.
The baritone voice.
The lake, it is said, never gives up for dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty.
Perfect line.
A big ship and true was bound to be chewed when the gales of November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned.
Terrific
including
footage.
some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. And later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling?
Slide guitar. Brilliant.
The wind and the wires made a tattletale sound, and a wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing.
The drums come in.
The dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. When supper time came, the old cook came on deck saying, fellas, it's too rough to feed you. At 7 p.m. a main hatchway gave in. He said, fellas, it's been good to know ya. The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the big ship and crew was in peril. And later that night when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours?
Great line.
The searchers all say that the made whitefish play if they'd put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Lake Huron rolls the burial scenes in the ruins of a ice-water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. The islands and days are for sportsmen. And farther below Lake Ontario, it takes in what Lake Erie can send her. But the iron boats go as the mariners all know, with the gales of November remembered. In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. The legend lives on from the Chippewa town of the big lake they called Gitchaguri. Superior, they say, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early.
Try to get his face back up here while I'm doing this. That audience sat completely still for that story, right? I mean, there's just so much on this. One thing I was going to mention before is Gordon does something that all good poets should do, and that is sprinkle in the fact. He didn't get all the facts completely straight on this. He even admitted later that he didn't. He took poetic license, and any good writer, any good artist takes poetic license to tell a story, and he does that. Even with the cathedral, it wasn't a cathedral. They weren't going to Cleveland. He made things rhyme, but it doesn't matter because it's the story. And I like also how he gives sort of a geographical feel to this, talking about all the different Great Lakes. Really nicely done. And the footage on this, by the way, the underwater footage is of the Edmund Fitzgerald. They found it. I think it was the Navy or the Coast Guard found the ship 4 days after it sank, and then they ended up having some underwater footage. Tragedy. And it's also just seeing it above water, seeing its name and knowing that it's sitting at the bottom of Lake Superior is a bit haunting. And speaking of haunting, the slide guitar on this is so phenomenal. This song has so many stringed instruments. It's got 2 guitars, 1 bass, and it's got the slide guitar. And the drum work on this is extraordinary as well. It's the cadence of this song. It's almost like sort of an Indian chant. You know, it begins with that sort of Indian chickagumi or gitchagumi or something like that, which is the name of Lake Superior. Has that sort of native chant to it or feeling to it, or the waves, the pounding, life, death. It's so impressive how he does that, and his voice is terrific. He's got that sort of baritone nasal voice that is so enjoyable, so manly, and really gets across the emotion that he's feeling, that he's trying to get across on this. It's one of those, it's not didactic at all like a lot of historical songs can be. In fact, The Poison Fruit is a bit didactic. But Sunday Bloody Sunday by U2. But this one isn't. It's just a story. It's storytelling, and it imparts so much sympathy for the men who tragically lost their lives in 1975. It's just exquisitely done. He's an extraordinary storyteller. He's won so many awards, rightfully so. Canadian artist. They're so proud of him up there, our Canadian friends, and they should be. And yeah, I know I missed some things, but y'all let me know. Let me know what you think, and fill in some empty places that I didn't quite get to. All right, y'all take care of yourselves. Talk to you soon. Bye now.